I hope you're doing well, and we're on to My Hero Academia. And the chapter was good in all intensive purposes. It looks like the arc's finally over, which I'm more than thrilled about, tell you the whole truth. As with Mr. Compress's final performance, before he ultimately dies, he plans on distracting the heroes long enough to have Spinner wake up Shigaraki, seeing as how Mr. Compress noticed that there were Nomu fighting off in the distance, and when Shigaraki wakes up, he'll be able to control them, for lack of a better word. So he plans on stalling long enough to have Spinner wake him up, and Spinner still had Shigaraki's dad's hand on him, it would seem. And so he put that hand onto Shigaraki's face. That did, in fact, wake him up. However, it wasn't him that woke up. It was All For One. All For One took over Shigaraki's body and took control. He finally tuned the Nomus to attack precisely and then to get him out of there, which I thought was an excellent move, saying that this is a loss for Shigaraki and that when Spinner says there are others that still need to be helped, All For One says that this is a loss that Shigaraki will have to face, and he'll face the consequences for, just to keep the hate going. And it's a bold decision. I like it. I thought it was a very fun / interesting twist that All For One wants Shigaraki to lose in this instance because he's not complete yet. Also, Mr. Compress ended up putting Dabi in a compressed version onto Spinner's hood, so Dabi got away as well. So basically the Villain League went from this big gang of people to Shigaraki, Spinner, and Dabi. And Dabi's most certainly probably going to leave to go and sue his own endeavors. But whatever, the Villain League is pretty much toast. Maybe. Toga's still out there. Gigantomachia is probably finally caught, full stop. And Mr. Compress is dead. So the League is in hard times. But as he's leaving, Deku, who we find out that lightning bolt that keeps showing up is like a spider sense. He has this sort of sense, but it's painful for him, and he's not used to it. It's his fourth quirk now. We see that, and then we see him jumping into the fray to try to stop All For One leaving. And it seems as though Deku wants to save Shigaraki, is sort of the point. He wants to save him from All For One. And we'll see if that succeeds. But it seems as though they got away. None of the heroes were able to stop them, nor the Nomu, and the war is over. Not exactly how I would have done it, but in a way that makes sense. Shigaraki would have probably kept fighting until he died, but All For One wouldn't have allowed that, wouldn't have wanted that. So now we get that. The first round between Midoriya, the vessel of One For All, and Shigaraki, the vessel for All For One. The battle between the two in the first match goes to Deku, if only by a slight margin. So the rematch will have far more anticipation. Now the big question here is, where does it go from here? Do we go back to school, just learning, trying to get stronger, but still being kids for a while? Basically pull a slight reset to the first few arcs where we get to the actual school stuff. They go back, they try to just calm down and heal and learn and so on, get their quirks right. Then we get some normal-ish events like the school festival or something. The superhero festival thing. Again, for the second years, meet some new first years maybe or something. Or does he pull a Naruto and then have it that All Might takes Deku away for special training so that he can harness his quirks, and we jump ahead. The second of these two options is really boring, and I'd be really ticked off if they did that. I'd rather it go slow paced and go back to school, as much as that sounds boring. It would be more interesting as a character study. For example, you have some of the students not wanting to come back, some of the parents not wanting them to come back, and so on. It'd be very interesting, the fallout from this, which is the major point. These next few chapters should be actually pretty great, and this was a good way to end the 2020 with. For My Hero, it actually was a good ending. Now that 21 will be a fresh start, we'll get to see the fallout from it, how everyone's pretty much suffering from this loss. So overall, it was a good chapter. The next few chapters I am actually excited for, as it's finally the end of this war, with no one coming out looking good, especially the heroes. So the next few weeks should be fun. I give the chapter a B. It was good. So if you enjoyed my ramblings, please leave a like, and as always, thank you for watching.